What's up? Good morning. Yeah, I'm about to go to the gym right quick and get my little workout in before I gotta go downtown. Hey. So y'all, what I'm here for? So y'all, why this morning I look in the DMs and the first thing I see in my DMs this morning is motherfucking Latrice with bruises all over her arm. Bruises on the back. Looked like both of her arms. I couldn't really tell because of the way it was shot. But I watched Bell Collective last night. And I didn't notice it. But them pictures of the bruises on this part of her arm let me know somebody grabbing her up. You know what's so funny? While Latrice is over there being abused, y'all, Letitia is thinking that she's not being abused. Letitia thinks that her and Glenn, they not like Cliff and Latrice. And I'm like, oh yeah? Is that what you think? That's not true. Y'all look at this shit. Like, I don't know if y'all can see it in this picture, but look at that bruise on the back of her arm. You see it? And this is the other arm. You see the bruise behind that arm? And it's right where a nigga would grab you. And we've seen Cliff grab and pull her before. We've seen it. But you know what's crazy to me? It don't matter how many times I'll say in my videos that a nigga is abusive. Everybody be acting like I'm crazy. Everybody be acting like I'm crazy. And I'm just like, y'all, I know abusive niggas when I see them. If I don't know nothing else, I know an abusive nigga when I see one. I was raised by one. Like, I know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know what the energy feels like. I know what it is. I don't watch the show. Who did it to her? Her husband. Her old ass husband that she calls Zaddy. So Marie wasn't lying when she mentioned Latrice was being abused. No, Marie wasn't lying. Everybody knows that Latrice is being abused. Everybody knows Latrice is over there getting her ass beat by Cliff. Everybody knows it. But you can't tell an abused woman nothing. Just like you can't tell Letitia nothing. Because Letitia thinks she's not in an abusive relationship. But every episode, Glendale is telling you what the fuck you gonna do as his wife. While he do whatever the fuck he wanna do. And then did y'all see this past week was their anniversary? So she posted a picture of him walking in front of her and her walking behind him. I'm like, the symbolism. The symbolism of you walking behind this nigga on your page. Girl. So sad. That's all I could think is that it's sad. And, I don't care. I don't care what people are talking about. I think it's sad. I think it's sad every time these women allow for these ain't shit ass niggas to have dominion over their lives in such a manner. Hold up, y'all. I'm looking for Letitia. Because y'all know I follow, Miss Fake Letitia. Because she fake. Like, y'all fly, right? Y'all real fly. Because that's all that matter. That's all that matters, how it look. As long as it look good on the outside, girl. And do you know what was like the most annoying part about this picture? The people in the comments. Y'all better. Let's go, Tisha and Glenn, the Pearsons. Girl, take your man back. Women do it all the time. Half of them want him single just to shoot their shot. Follow your heart because y'all look good together. Sis, that's your husband in your marriage, so do what you feel is right. Don't allow outside opinions in your head. Do whatever makes you happy in your life. You know what's so funny? Y'all, it's automatically understood that the outside shit is people telling her she can do better and she need to find a man that treats her better. Or she need to treat herself better and be a fucking loan. Okay? But no, you're convinced that everybody wants Glenn, right? All of us that feel like she can do better and he's dragging her down, something wrong with us. We see him calling her, embarrassing her, talking to her crazy, but something wrong with us. Okay. Okay, girl. Okay, girl. Your marriage. My only advice is to be true to who and what you are. Let him order your steps. Girl, who is him? Who is him? Because she gonna let Glendale order her steps. Talking about let him. And which is so crazy to me when y'all don't realize that you telling a woman to choose herself while simultaneously telling her to listen to him. You think you talking about God, but really you talking about a nigga. That's really what it is, because that's how that's equated. All of the people in the comments cheering her on to stay in an abusive relationship because the rest of us are just hating on their relationship. Y'all, I hate that. I really hate that whenever people can see a situation clearly and they telling you, hey girl, you getting used. Hey girl, you can do better. Hey girl, you don't look happy. Hey girl, that man stay embarrassing you. Hey girl, stand up. You know, we tell y'all this. Y'all get mad at us, right? Why are all the men on Carlos' show showing up as abuser, physically, emotionally, or mentally? Why? Because Carlos likes to watch women be abused. And he knows it's like a whole bunch of reasons why. It's a whole bunch of reasons why. But mainly, I think he likes to watch women be abused. I think he knows that those storylines are the most enthralling. And it's because they're the ones that people can connect with the most. Because most women are in relationships that are unbalanced. Most women are in relationships with men who take allowances that they are not allowed to take. Y'all don't be wanting to, y'all want to act like I'm lying. Y'all want to act like, oh, I'm just negative and all of this bullshit. Okay, fine, girl. Go on and keep letting them niggas treat you any old kind of way. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. I don't do that. All of these niggas got mommy issues, if that's the case. And really, all of them really be having mommy issues. But it ain't the woman's fault. Because a lot of times, the way men create mommy issues is by being mad at their mama because their daddy ain't shit. We don't even understand it. But I've been telling y'all for a long time now that Carlos is the gay male pick-me. The gay male pick-me has the same psychology as a woman that befriends you so she can fuck your man. Like, it's the same psychology, y'all. It's the same feeling. It's the same type of energy where they get they get something out of watching you get treated badly by a nigga. And then the possibility of them fucking a nigga in their mind, like that helps them so much. Like, I'm gonna just tell you, like, Carlos don't like women. He knows that they're profitable. He recognizes that they are, like he told us when he was growing up in his household, in his 2-parent household in the South, with his brothers and his sisters, and how all of his brothers was only responsible for outside shit, but the sisters was the only ones cleaning up the house. And the boys were never responsible for cleaning up. Do you know what that taught Carlos? That women are tools to be used. Women are to be used. That's what that taught Carlos. Especially because he's not trying to fuck them. So because he's not sexually attracted to the women, then he's going to see the value in using them to clean his place. He's going to see the value in them making him money. He can see that. But yeah, he don't really like women. He don't. But he knows that they're useful. So he creates, he creates what he's created. But ultimately, you literally standing on women's backs while laughing at them being abused. It's kind of fucked up. I'm not even gonna front. It's kind of fucked up. It don't matter that he was born of a woman. He is sexually attracted to men, and he is misogynistic. So essentially, it's not even just about being sexually attracted to other men. It's about the fact that you are a man. You are what you're sexually attracted to. So all of your efforts will underlyingly always be about the preservation of males, the image of males. And just use the women. Use the women for their honesty. Use the women because they're the ones that will be open about what's going on with them. Use the women because they're beautiful, because they have their resourceful energy that the women have. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Let me tell y'all something. I was watching Charmed this morning, and it was the episode when Piper and Leo got married. Hold up. And I'm posting something on Instagram, y'all. I was watching this episode of Charm when Leo and Piper were getting married. And it was just so funny to me when I watched those episodes back now, especially now, because I feel like when I was growing up, Charmed was one of those shows that like really promoted women and women empowerment. And I hate to say it now because y'all have like overused that term, but for what that really, really meant. Like the Halliwell sisters, when Piper got married, her grandmother tell her Mrs. Halliwell because you keeping your last name. The women in this family keep the last name. Now, all of the research I've been doing, the books I've been reading lately talks about matrilineal families where everything is passed down through the women, like Charmed. And in this episode, she marries a fucking angel. The only one that's getting married on Charmed is the one that found an angel to marry. Somebody that was always willing to die for her. Somebody that fell from grace as an angel for her. So what that taught me is that you gotta be an exemplary nigga for a old powerful bitch like me to want you. Okay? I needed you to be Leo Wyatt, bitch. Okay? And I ain't gonna lie, Lyric is really close. He's a little close. He's a little close. Okay? I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. Like, Lyric is like sometimes, y'all, it's the fun. Sometimes I'll call Lyric and Lyric's at work. And Lyric is like outside most of the day. It's hell hot most of the time out here. And Lyric is outside doing his thing. And I'll call him and we'll be on the phone. And Lyric will see dogs. Oh, how you doing, little buddy? How you doing? You know what I'm saying? He'll the way he speaks to people. He's literally like a happy person. Like he's walking around in his fucking life happy. Like just, like a kid. And I love that. 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 I want him to always be like that. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, I think that my initial instincts about my husband were very, very right. But essentially most of these niggas is not like him. I hate to say it like that. Cause I collect information on this nigga every day. Okay. So what I mean to say is I feel like that today. I've always said this. I feel like that today. I don't know if I'm going to feel like that next week. So, keep the good energy flowing. Okay? Like, I'm always looking for new information. I'm always going to be processing new information. So if at any point you switch up, I'm switching up. Okay? No, they aren't because they're miserable. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Most of these niggas are miserable. Most of these niggas is miserable. And I knew it when I was young. That's why I wasn't fucking with people like that. Like I told you, you could name the dudes I fuck with on one hand. The men that I have actually allowed into my domain, and that means into the temple that is my body, bitch. Okay? The universe that is my body, bitch. There's a handful of men in this world that knows what that is like. Way more women, but a handful of men. Okay? And that's because I needed to be finessed in a certain manner. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really couldn't get me easy. You still can't really, like, even friends and shit. Like, I'm just not easily accessible to people like that. On here, yes, but in real life, I don't like people like that. I don't trust people. It is what it is. You gotta prove something to me, bitch. The Charm Girls had too much masculine energy, though. She never truly trusted Leo to lead. Golden Queen Goddess author, girl. The Charm Girls were not masculine. What are you talking about? And I'm sorry, she wasn't supposed to let Leo lead. Leo wasn't supposed to lead. Leo was supposed to be there to heal people when they got hurt. Leo was there to give them the pep talk when they needed the pep talk. He was there to make her feel good when she needed to feel good. He was not there to lead them. They were the leaders. Oh, girl, I don't know why you follow me. I'm sorry. I'm so anti that shit. No, I don't care if he's her husband. That doesn't mean he leads. That doesn't mean that he leads anything. Like, why would she let him lead just because he became her husband? Like, no, girl. No. They were not masculine. They were fully in their feminine energy. I feel like a lot of y'all don't really know what feminine energy is. Y'all think feminine energy is, oh, I'm resting in my femininity. And it's like, no, bitch, that's the way men tell you. That's the explanation of femininity that men give you. That's the explanation of femininity that men give you. But if you think it's masculine to have a purpose in your life and put that purpose, like, they were fighting demons. What were they supposed to be like? I was just like, I really do feel like most women, like the way y'all feel about men, y'all act like drug addicts. Like, y'all, that's what it seems like. Like, y'all act like drug addicts. Y'all act like full-on fucking crackheads behind men. And I say that because you ignore all common sense so you can like insert men are supposed to lead. Men are the leaders. He's your husband. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Each individual person is going to lead based on their strong suits around here. Okay, each individual person is going to lead based on their strong suit. All right. I don't care. Like, nothing about you being a man means that you need to lead to me. It means that you need to be told what to do so that you can have an easy way to execute whatever it is you need to do. Now, if you have a natural gift as a man, then you can fully live in that as lead because that's something that you're naturally good at. But you're not about to lead in everything just because you're a man or a husband. No, you're not. That doesn't even make any sense. That doesn't make any sense, y'all. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, in the natural form of things, and I'm talking about in the natural form of things, without society fucking with it, women are providers and protectors naturally. Men are aggressive and, they fight, they rape, they pillage, they hoard resources. They do nothing. You know what I'm saying? They're either moving a lot or not moving at all. Like, no, it's not natural for the man to lead. It's really not. That's not natural. That's what you've been told by society. That's what you've been told by religion. But there is nothing in what I've seen in this world that tells me men are supposed to lead. Men are leading us into what? The end of days here? Like, men are leading. Men are leading in all of the areas of power in this world. And the world is a complete shit show. Yeah, alpha males need to be acknowledged by other males, not by women. Alpha men are supposed to be alpha to other men, not women. We're supposed to tell them what to do. Sorry. The alpha male thing is based off of animals. Okay, correct. Based off of pack animals. Okay, so it's off of the wolves that are in a society together. There is a alpha male. Yes, we must respect the natural order of things. We must, absolutely. And Mother Nature and woman being the natural leader in life, as far as I'm concerned, even if my father was a leader, and still it was the understanding that he's just leading because we're allowing him to lead, not because he actually knows better in all things. Because in the things that really, really mattered, like the spirituality, the emotional intelligence, being able to understand things, my mother was the first person to be able to calmly explain things. My mother was the first person to implement spirituality. My mother was the first person to have a conversation with me about my body. And then in my husband's life, his mother, in a lot of my friends' lives, even if they had their fathers in the household, their mothers are the ones that fully led them, that trained them up. My grandmother taught me how to use the bathroom. What is actually natural is matrilineal. What is actually natural is survival of the fittest. Okay? So, matrilineal meaning the only thing that makes sense is that shit should have been passed down through women. The only thing you know for sure of in this life is if a woman has a baby, that's her baby. That's the only thing you know for sure. You don't know who the father is unless you get a DNA test. And back in the day, they could not get fucking DNA tests. And back in the day, women were very much having sex with multiple males to see who had the stronger sperm. And of those men had to be survival of the fittest, meaning they had to outstrong all of the other men in order to get in with the women. Then once they prove themselves to get in with the women, then we get to see genetically who's going to make the baby. But back in the day, everything was passed down through the women because that's the only true sign that somebody had a child. And then scientifically, mothers pass down their genes to their girl children. The genes that I have, my mom had. The genes that my mom had, her grandmother had. And I'm talking about the actual womb shit. It's a scientific thing. That's not true. Women don't do it all just because there are no alpha males present. That's not true. That's not true. Even the alpha males are only, you keep saying alpha males are only supposed to be alpha to other men. They're not supposed to control women. Them being able to physically be stronger than other men does not mean that they are mentally or emotionally more inept than women. No. We don't get stuck in the habit and mindset of doing it all. We naturally can. And if men could naturally do it all, they would, but they don't. Most men that accomplish a lot usually do it by way of a woman or by way of their own ego. If their ego pushes them to want more or to seek more, then that's what will push them. But up and around here, yes, the mitochondria DNA. To me, if it don't match in science, if it don't match in nature, then it don't match. Society convinces us of so many things, but what we see naturally taking place in our environment is women are usually the providers and the protectors. Y'all tell men that this is what they're supposed to do, but men hate doing what they're doing. I'm sorry that you don't like that I'm telling you the truth. I'm sorry that you don't like that I'm telling you the truth. But just because a man can control other men does not mean he's supposed to control women. Women don't just do everything because they have to. They do it because innately they are better equipped. Yes, we need help, but we need help from other women. We need community. We need community. The whole man and woman, thing, like, that's cute and everything. But in my upbringing, even with all of the alpha males, and let's be clear, my daddy was the alpha male. In my family dynamic, as much as the men in my family, like, I have uncles that I still, have a relationship with that are still around. Some of them were with their wives and all of that shit. But at the end of the day, the women are the ones that held it together. The women, you said lead. Lead is to control. That's what you said. You said lead. Lead is to control. You think that if men assume this higher level, that allows women to constantly be resting in their feminine. That doesn't make any sense, and that's not smart. We don't live in a world where a woman can always be resting in feminine. You are going to have to use both sides of your brain to live in this life. It doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman. I think we do know how these roles work in a healthy way. The men stop being stupid. Find them smart women. Find them good women. Listen to those women. Lead is absolutely control. Lead is absolutely control. Bondy, she's in her feminine soft era. Yeah, listen. Lupita has the DNA from the tribe, the first tribe. That's crazy. We have to get away from the idea of roles. Yeah, I don't subscribe to that whole thing, because essentially, two people, when a household actually works, even in this society, it's because both people have decided that they're going to do what is required, and a role is obsolete. Feminists are actually getting women closer to normal. What's normal? What's normal? Because I feel like essentially we're so brainwashed we can't even accept the truth. I don't know what you think the truth is, because I think you're not thinking big enough in the way that you're thinking about this. First of all, there shouldn't be as many men as there are. There are too many men. There are too many men. We're overpopulated, and it's too many men. Women who aren't married always know the best way to be in a balanced marriage. We all have our own idea. Yeah, we might all have our own idea, but we're not all right. And the nature of humans is biological as well as psychological. And then you have these outside sources. You have society. You have what is being impressed upon you in the society that you live in. And I feel like essentially woman is God. I think woman is God. I don't think that man is God too, the way y'all be trying to make it seem. I think masculine is an aspect of God. But in its true form, if we're really talking about made in God's image, the woman was the first person. Women were on this earth for hundreds of thousands of years before men were on this earth. That's a scientific fact. And when it comes to making men soft, I don't subscribe to that, because I feel like with niggas, what y'all think is soft, and like, no, like essentially y'all coddle men. Y'all coddle men, and y'all don't realize that y'all do, but y'all coddle men. And a lot of men are not supposed to actually live in community with women. Their natural state is to be moving, is to, plant their seed and go move around. Like, a lot of them want to move around. If we do it all, well, I don't suggest we do it all. I think that we do certain things. And it's whatever we decide to do. I think men are soldiers. I think men are bodies. I think men are meant to take direction. A lot of them, most of them. That's why they need religion. That's why they need military indoctrination. They need to be told what to do so that they can make good decisions. Because if they just go with their natural nature, child, they'll just be out here fucking holes in the ground. Like a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? But I don't feel like we should think they're equal to us, because the truth of the matter is they're usually not. I'm sorry, but every impressive woman that I know is more impressive than her man. And her man is only so impressive because he's smart enough to be with her. For instance, I told y'all how great my husband is. Like, that's my dude. But we all know I'm more impressive. Like, I'm able to do more. I'm a great multitasker. I knew what I was going to do as soon as I got here. Okay? When I came to Earth, I knew what I was going to do. I knew what my purpose, my task was. The older I get, the more solidified I come in my purpose. The more solidified I become in who I am. The more I evolve, the more I ascend. Okay? That's the space that I'm in. It's not even just about financially in my career. I'm talking about mentally and spiritually. I literally go sit in my fucking backyard and be in total peace in my life. That's a blessing. Okay? Everything that I have done for myself, made decisions about me and for me, ever since I really started doing that, my husband has then mirrored in some way my actions and elevated himself even more. Women are the natural leaders. We're the ones that have the compassion and the wherewithal to lead when we're not being bogged down with being so angry because we can't get these niggas to do what we want them to do. So that is in fact why I feel like women should stop trying to force niggas to do shit. If they're not going to do what they need to do, then let them go. Because their natural nature is to be about themselves and try to leech off of you. So let them go do it. If they're not going to do what's required in order for that connection, and that's whatever the woman is requiring, then they need to go and do whatever they're going to do. I suggest women worrying about themselves. I suggest women working on themselves. I suggest women decentering men. Stop making all of your fucking decisions about a nigga. Stop looking for, I just have to find that person. Like, stop it. Stop looking for it. Look for yourself. Try to find what's good for you. Try to make your life happy. Try to figure out ways to make yourself happy without another person. The funny part about it is I actually went through this before me and Lyra got together. Like, that's the funny part. We've gone through a whole transition, but I feel like what I knew as a young girl, I knew it at an early age, but just didn't fully understand it. Now that I'm 35, the mindset that I had was right. The mindset that I had was right. Yes, most women find their man when they are operating in their power life purpose. That's how I feel. I felt spiritually guided, though, to my husband, like emotionally, spiritually pulled from the moment I met him. And it has not been easy, but we have both made effort to love each other, to respect each other, to not try to hurt each other, to not try to have circular fucking arguments and tire each other out. You know, he's not trying to assert dominance over me. He's experiencing who I am. Yes, I changed. And then he changed. So I had to change first. I had to be better first. But I also had to be willing to let whatever wasn't going to grow with me go. And that's the part of this a lot of y'all don't understand. I was ready and willing to let my marriage, my husband, go. If it wasn't going to be growing with me, if it wasn't going to be supporting me moving forward, if it was only going to be for who I was when I was 21, then it was just going to have to break apart. It is what it is. I'll love you forever. That don't mean we got to be together. And ever since then, ever since learning that lesson, I am always in a space of, you always have something to prove to me. You always have something to prove to me. Period. And if you don't like it, that's fine, because I'm the resource. Exactly. Men really do mimic their wives' actions, especially when you are operating in your purpose. That's why I think Jay-Z and Beyonce connect like they do. Because first of all, you got to be enough of a man to take your ego out of your assessment of things. Because most men can't even appreciate a woman like me. They wouldn't allow me to help them because they think they know everything because they the man. Because society has told them they should know better than me. So they don't have to listen to me. I've been in relationships with niggas before. Every time I was in a relationship with a nigga before my husband, I was in a relationship with somebody who I was trying to help elevate in some manner because all they wanted to do is complain about their lives. And so I would try to help them. And they didn't want to listen to me. My base requirement was for you to be on the level that I'm on. I'm a college graduate. He needed to be a college graduate. I lived on my own. He needed to live on his own. He had his own car. I had my own car. Now, it didn't stay like that for a minute, but we got back on it. Ups and downs. But at the end of the day, he needed to be where I was at the time that we got together. And he was where I was. College educated, got his own place, works hard, treats other people well. Lyric is not homophobic. Lyric doesn't treat gay people badly. He doesn't make crass comments about people. He's not colorist. He doesn't make comments about skin tone. Things that were important to me at an early age: don't be homophobic, don't be colorist. He fit that, along with the being where I was. The other thing, he listened to me. He saw me as a friend. But the fact that he listened to me was the main thing. And we had to work through that because he ain't always want to listen. But he listened to me, valued me as a person, supported me in what I was doing. Never had the attitude with me like other niggas had with me. I had been like my very first boyfriend, all of that. Our relationship was so exhausting and tumultuous. It was all passion and everything. But it was circular arguments, somebody that wants to win just for the sake of winning, a person that did not want to really grow, but they wanted to complain about or talk about what they wanted to do, but they never wanted to really do it. I then got into a relationship with a man who was a hoe and tried real hard to act like he wasn't a hoe. Then I got into before him, I got into a relationship with another guy, very short term, but me and him had known each other for years, so I trusted him. Like we had known it was either him or the boyfriend I just told y'all about. Those were my two options to take my virginity. I had known those boys since we were 12, 13, like even younger than that. The boyfriend I had known since I was like a baby because we grew up in the same neighborhood together. So I had enough experiences with men that I knew long term. Every nigga that I have ever fucked with knew me for over 2 years before they got a chance to have sex with me. Every dude that has ever had sex with me had to wait 2 or more years before they could get to know me in that manner. Every single one. And that's because I don't trust niggas. I don't trust you. So first you had to be my friend. I had to feel like you respected me or saw me as a friend first. Then I could possibly allow you in my space to date me. But I had to feel comfortable. I had to trust you on a certain level. I had to know you weren't going to try to rape me. Like certain things I had to be in some way sure of. And so that's how I would form my bonds with people. Lyric was my best friend, like my cousin's best friend. And my cousin was my best friend growing up. He and I are our family's bookends. Like if there are two people that are a male and female version of each other in a spiritual and mental capacity in the otherness, me and my cousin Jermaine are that. And so his friendship with Lyric is what formed my friendship with Lyric. We hung around each other at LSU, so we formed a friendship. Years go by. One day, Jermaine, after I done broke up with all of those niggas, experienced all of those exhausting relationships with those niggas, and one day Jermaine is like, Lyric like you. I was like, Lyric? He like family. What you mean he like me? That was weird for me. Went in one ear, out the other. College graduation. Jermaine calls and says, yeah, I'm coming. I'm coming to the graduation. Okay, cool. My dad had passed away. I felt like I needed people at the time, especially like male energy, because I was a daddy's girl. Like I didn't realize it, but I absolutely was. Like my dad was really like somebody I fucked with when he wasn't being an asshole. Like we spent time together. We watched movies together. We was into electronics and shit together, the computer stuff, like all of this techie shit. Me and my dad were very much into all of the same stuff. We were like the first family in the neighborhood to have a computer. That was like one of me and my dad's first like real bonding experiences, was when we first got a computer and shit. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I needed male energy when my dad died. So I had all these fucked up relationships. Graduation comes, Jermaine coming through. Jermaine's my favorite person, one of my favorite people. He comes, he brings Lyric. I was happy to see Lyric. At this point, Lyric and I have been around each other to the point of me and my boyfriend, him and his girlfriend, Jermaine and his girlfriend. Everybody comes to the house. We all, have a good time, smoke, eat, cook, all of this shit. Like, that's how we used to get down. So we were already really tight as a friend group on a level. You know what I'm saying? So he comes for the graduation and just something clicked. Something clicked into place. I wasn't even looking at him like that. And something happened the day of my graduation, December 10th, 2010. December 10th, 2010. I will never forget it because it was the first time that I literally felt something clicking on like a switch. And I was dating him and, I was still dating other people. I had a 3-month rule at the time. I broke the 3-month rule, but I knew him for 2 years. So I broke the 3-month rule, but then went back. It was like, okay, I did it one time. I liked it enough to do it again. So now we can go back to not doing it until a set date. Because I got to try this shit out first. I ain't about to sit here for 3 months if I don't know if it's going to work. You know what I'm saying? And I'm, big on sexual energy. Being in relationships with women makes it so that your orgasms are important. You're not about to get all, linked up with a nigga that can't fuck. Like, you're just not going to do that. Like, okay? And once we had that first experience, I was like, okay, good. He can make me come. Great for him. All right. Let's go back to not having any sex and we'll see what happens. Okay? That was December. We officially became a couple in February, Valentine's Day. So it was Valentine's Day 2011 is when we became officially a couple. Okay? At this time, he was still living in Baton Rouge. I was still living in New Orleans. So we would drive back and forth. Then his car broke and he had to get another car. So I would drive all the way to Baton Rouge once I got off my second job to go and get him and bring him back out here. Okay? So trust me. And I wouldn't have never done that for nobody if he and I didn't already have the relationship that we had, being friends and shit. Okay? So, yeah. 13 years later, here we are. Okay? We we still together. But it's an everyday struggle. And I truly believe that you should always be checking in and you should always be making sure that your relationship is where you want it to be. I don't believe in being anywhere I'm not happy. I don't believe in being with people that don't value me. I don't believe in keeping a man just to have a man. I don't give a fuck about that. I'm good on my own. I can always attract another man. I can attract a woman. I'm not thirsty. I'm not thirsty for shit, and I refuse to be. I am the resource, and whatever I need comes to me. I am the abundance. I'm the fucking prize. I'm everything. I'm everything. You ain't got to ask me to do. You ain't got to ask me to do shit. You ain't got to ask me to make sure you okay. I've been learning, motherfuckers, and doing exactly what was needed of me since a very young age. My mama taught me. Okay, I watched my mom and how she waited on my dad, but I also watched how my dad waited on my mom. Even in being controlling, the nigga still was going to get up and fix you something to eat. He was still going to be of service to you. So yeah, I feel like, me and Lyric did something good in a previous life, which is why we were able to find each other so quickly. Yes, I'm every woman, baby. It's all in me, okay? Anything you want done, baby, I do it naturally. Naturally. Okay? So, yeah. Yeah, bro. It's not that I feel like, all of the dudes are bad people, but I just feel like the society that we live in does not make it easy for them to be good people. And you need to assume that they're bad people until they prove otherwise. And then you need to be checking in to make sure that among collecting new information as time goes on, your assessment is still the same. I was raised to be a critical thinker. And the older I get, the more I'm going to trust my critical thinking skills and ignore the way people like to tell me I'm wrong about something because of whatever they got going on. When at the end of the day, my sense is apparent. Like, it's real obvious that I got sense. I get up every day and do what the fuck I want to do for money. I really like my nigga. My nigga really like me. Like, I'm just saying. And yeah, I feel like I can tell you have a lot of faith in men, and I feel like you should take your faith out of them. And I really do. I really think that you need to take your faith out of men. I do. I even hate the fact that I just told you the story about my husband, because you're going to think that it's a whole bunch of my husbands out there. And honestly, I don't think that. I'm sorry. I've been thinking that for the longest. I'm like, oh, Lord, child, most of you niggas is not like my husband. And honestly, and I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't have your faith in them. You shouldn't have your faith in them because when you do have faith, no. I understand what you mean. But see, you have got to get it out of your head that you should even be thinking about having faith in them. I don't give a fuck about no other nigga. I am literally not thinking that any of you other niggas are going to be worthy of anything. I'm sorry, I'm not. I don't experience you. But what I do understand is that most dudes can't be emotionally intelligent, not selfish, not all about themselves, not trying to own women, not trying to view everything a woman does as some signifier of himself, as if she's not a whole person that represents herself. I heard 50 Cent say last night, a woman, the woman is a sign of the man. So if he is with a smart woman, he's a smart man. That's what he said. But he also said, if I'm with a woman, she's an investment. So if I'm buying her shoes, I'm buying me shoes. You think I'm buying you shoes? Bitch, I'm buying me shoes. You see what I'm saying? So even their care for you a lot of the times is out of them feeling a need. And because men, yes, are fickle, you cannot walk around having your faith in men. You can't. I don't have faith in men. I don't. I have faith in whatever a person shows me, that's what they're going to do. And most men have shown me to be all out for self, selfish. They don't give a fuck about nobody if they're not fucking them. They don't care about you if you're not their family or you not fucking them. They will disrespect and treat everybody like dog shit if it ain't their family or they ain't fucking you. So, yeah, and that's what I see most of the time. And most of the time I see niggas that is out of control of themselves. So I can't worry about having faith in men. I can't worry about that. I don't give a fuck. I got faith in myself and what I'm trying to create. That's all I got time for. I ain't got time to have faith in them. Honestly, I want y'all to stop being like that. I'm about to tell you, because what she said, but so many women who have done all the work, so many bosses. Don't most women want to be loved and in a relationship with a man? I hope not. I'm sorry. I hope that's not what most of the boss bitches want, because they're going to end up like Kimmy. They're going to end up like Kimmy. I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm a boss woman, right? If I didn't have lyric, I wouldn't be worrying about no niggas. I wouldn't be, and I wouldn't be worrying about niggas the way you worrying about niggas. I don't care about your love. A lot of y'all can't even really love nobody. I don't want your love. I don't give a fuck. Are you going to make my life hard for your love? I don't want it. Y'all, I had really great relationships with women when I was growing up. Like, my high school girlfriend she was abusive, but she took great care of me. She doted on me. She cared for me. Same thing with my college girlfriend. Cheated on me. We fought a lot. Doted on me. Cared for me. Treated me well. Went in and provided for me. Protected me. I felt more protected. I felt more provided for in my relationships with women than I did in my relationships with any men. Any men. And the only reason that I could identify what was good in lyric is because I had been in relationships with women before. Because I had been in relationships where somebody was completely into me and I was completely into them. Even if it didn't last, I knew what it felt like to have somebody be really into me. So then moving forward in relationships with men, I would be able to assess the difference and I would be able to clock their inconsistencies much faster because I was used to being in relationships with women who naturally want to take care of you, who naturally want to make sure you have what you need, who naturally want to make sure you have an orgasm. So by the time I got to men at 2019, you had to be able to do at least what my girlfriends did. That's why a lot of those relationships didn't last. Because I was like, I'm going to try dick. I tried it. Okay, this is cool. I can get into this. It hurt a little bit. But you know, every now and again, you get a good one. All right, cool. But ultimately, when I was with girls, they cooked. They cleaned. They bought shit. Like, they surprised you with stuff. They took you out on cute dates. Like, shit that I did not get in relationships with men. And with men, you might get taken out, but mostly you get leeched off of and you get fucked. So I would hope that most women that have done all the work have done the work to not do all the work just so that they can find a nigga. Because to me, it proves that you spent so much time doing shit a certain way, but still having a mind frame that you needed a man. You needed to find love of a man. And I feel like with that desperation, you turn around and allow niggas to do anything to you. And Kimmy from Love and Marriage Huntsville is the perfect example of that. That lady spent all that time taking care of her son by herself, working, providing for herself, always thinking in the back of her mind that when I'm done with all of this work, oh, I just want a man. I just want to be loved. And then what happens? You get with a man. You get with a man that treats you like shit. That don't cook. That don't clean. He's not making more money than you, but he's the man. I try to help all my girlfriends as much as possible because as a man who knows the way that stereotypical men think, it's much easier to navigate dating. So I try my hardest to help women. And you know what? Men like you, we appreciate you. I do feel like there's obviously I feel like there's a small percentage of men that can be worked with. But I don't feel like women should be making it easy. That's a mistake to make it easy. Niggas gotta work for stuff. And y'all be trying to give niggas everything so easily. Trust me, I know. Okay? What you mean we in a twilight zone? I heard someone, I don't see any real benefit to marriage. If you add no value to my life, you serve no purpose in it. Period. You are lucky that one that isn't threatened by you being attracted to women. A lot of men can't handle it. I know, but he wouldn't have been my husband if he had a problem with it. Everybody knew I liked women before me and him even got together. As a gay man. Okay, come on, as a gay man. We appreciate you. I like allies. I don't care. Right. End up dumbing ourselves down and looking stupid just to have a man. I can tell by these responses you all don't understand what she's saying. Oh, let me see what they saying. She never told us to buy. Oh, no, I'm not telling you that. I'm not telling you to like something you don't like. I'm trying to make y'all understand that if you can't do for me what my girlfriends in high school and college could do, then you can't be a nigga in my life. Like, I'm just telling y'all that I started off 2-parent household, middle class, a father that was there every fucking day. And still with my father being there every day, my father cooked, my father cleaned, okay? But he was still controlling and angry and trying to be civilized and do good by his family while dealing with something inside of himself that he could not always quell. There's a lot of fucking Crown Royal around my house, okay? which is why I really do understand the nature of men, even good men, that they're always trying to curtail something inside of them, which is the nature. And they've convinced women that that's a good thing. That's not a good thing. Niggas are alpha males with other men, not with women. But you know what I did know about my daddy? As much as my daddy did all of that, he wasn't shit without my mama, and he knew it. He knew he had found a good thing with my mama. So even though he was fucked up in the way he would make up for it. Every year, life was getting better. Every year, more vacations, better gifts. You know what I'm saying? Taking you to brunch every Sunday, taking you to the beach on the weekends. Like, because of the type of person he was, I think my daddy understood the type of person he was. Because he used to talk to me all the time. So he knew who he was as being fucked up, but knew he needed to try to combat being fucked up as much as he could. And he would try. And I knew he would try. But it was hard. I could feel. Like, as I was getting older, before my dad died in 2019, I was like, I had always kind of been very sensitive to him and could tell when he was about to get upset. That's why I was able to curtail sometimes getting hit, because I can feel the buildup before it was happening. So, all right, 10:30. I need to get out of here in a minute. Yeah, 11, 12 weeks. Yeah, I should be able to make it. Because I ain't going to be at the gym. I might not go to the gym. I might just work out downstairs. Just do some upper body. Anyway, y'all. Go find you a woman, Bondy. Listen, I'm chilling. I'm chilling. I'm good with just me and Lyric right now. And the funny part about it is, you know, I see like a lot of people won't understand me. I really don't give a fuck. Like, a lot of people aren't happy. So I don't really care how other people feel about my life, because most of y'all have no fucking clue. Okay? Let's see. Don't re-explain. I have finally learned or understand that things come from within as well as what we hear. Sometimes we are not ready to accept even the things our souls know. Charles, I know. I tell men, this is not an interview. I'm not applying for a position to be in your life. Child, that's how they be acting. That's how they be acting. You about to come and fit into their life. Mine too. That's why he and my mom couldn't work. He was a tyrant. And my mom has such a powerful, divine, feminine energy. I just feel like she was put that, like the what she did in this life. Like, my mama was brought into this world to be who she is. My mom's to me, my mom is another example of like goddess energy, just grace. So much, endless well of fucking grace. I don't care what nobody say. My mama is also somebody that can make her own self happy over time. And I watched her figure out ways to do that. And I don't think she would have done that if my dad had not been the way he was. She sought ways to find happiness in her life regardless of whatever was going on. And she inspired me to do the same. We will always find the ways to be good in just who we are. Like, my mom definitely taught me that. The goal is history teaches us. We learn and apply and change and do better. I think people don't want to do all that work, so we got to plan B's. It's easier. My thing is, just because everyone doesn't operate off the same man being the leader and woman being his support system doesn't mean we're in the twilight zone. Life is too big to think one way. I agree. Yeah, I'm going to post this on YouTube. I'm going to post this on YouTube for everybody. Thanks for this. You're so right. Happiness in self is always best. That's how I feel. Your mom sounds like, because you're dealing with my husband, I have to find ways to make myself happy. Yeah. My mama read a lot of self-help books. That's how the first Iyanla book, because my mom was like on this self-help kick real bad, like in the 90s, like reading books. It was when she was having panic attacks. My mom was having panic attacks. My grandmother, I think, had died, and she dealing with my dad and my sister and owning her own business and doing all of these heads a day and me running behind her, mommy. My mom was tapped out in her 40s. Like, I was paying attention to my mom as she was getting older. My mom was very like childlike and fun when she was in her 30s. Her 40s, it was almost like She was fighting, and then all of a sudden got tired of fighting and just relented. And then my dad got sick, and then she had to be what she needed to be. But when my dad got sick, y'all, when I knew he was going to die, I knew my dad was going to die like a few days before he actually died. And I remember thinking, we're going to be free. Miss him every day. Wish that he was still alive. But when he was getting ready to die, I knew we were going to be free. It is what it is. As a teen, the dating and marriage world sounds scary. It is scary because it's really, I wouldn't advise marriage. Like, I really wouldn't. I wouldn't. I mean, I'm good. Okay. But I wouldn't advise it. And if I got divorced, I wouldn't get married again. I think marriage is for young women. I'm going to say it like that. I think marriage is for young women because y'all are still being socialized to want that and to think that that's your overall goal when it's really not. What do you mean free? What do you mean free? What do you mean? Sharon, why are you married to a man? Because I love him. I just spent a whole bunch of time explaining why I love and I like my husband, and everybody like, why did you get married to a man? I think it's weird that y'all think that because women are attracted to other women that they can't also be attracted to and love men. That's very weird to me. Married 17 years, thankful, but I wouldn't advise it. We all say the same thing. I don't know a married woman with sense that says, oh yeah, I would do it again. I am, but I'm happy because of me. I'm happy because of me. Bisexuality is a real thing. Yeah, it really is, y'all. You know, that was so funny to me. I remember Mind the Lilith asked me the same thing. Why would you marry a man if you are attracted to women? I'm like, because I like them both. What do you mean free after your dad died? I told y'all my dad was controlling. My dad was abusive. There were, hey, remember, everybody in this fucking city know your daddy. So act like you got some sense when you out. My daddy had mind control over us. I wanted to go to school in Georgia. My dad made me come back and financially abuse me so that I would do what he wanted me to do. Like, my dad, like, one of the last big blow-ups I had with my dad was my dad calling me a bitch and being mad at me because I did not want to stay in Louisiana and I wanted to go back to Georgia. So, yeah, free. And for my mama, that means doing whatever the fuck she want to do without being talked to crazy for whatever reason. Oh, yeah. No, it made me strong. Everything in my life has been for my benefit. Everything in my life has been for my benefit. But you still have to be able to call a thing and assess it and be a critical thinker about what's going on in your life in order for it to be for your good. Because if you don't understand why something is happening, if you don't really sit down and ask yourself why I chose this person, why was I with this person, why did I make that decision? If you don't question your life, if you don't ask yourself those questions, and you will continue to make the same mistakes over and over and over again. I had to complete a life cycle. I had to learn a lesson before I got to this space. And the moment I started learning the lesson is when I was unhappy in my marriage. Really unhappy in my marriage. That was when I started learning the lesson. And it's because I had been taught to make my husband the center of my universe. Even making decisions for my own life always was taught self-preservation above all. But I still centered him way too much in my mind and in everyday movements. And if you understand what that is, for somebody to not even require that of you, but for you to naturally do it, You have to understand how you have to stop thinking a certain way. Because my husband is not a bad person, but my husband is somebody that's been taken care of by the women in his life. So if I was going to do everything, he was going to let me. So what did I have to do? I'm not doing that. That's for you. Oh, you upset? So what you going to do? And then I turned into Jerome. And I turned into my daddy also. So, oh, you going to get upset? What you going to do? Okay? I'm going to be the odd one out and would say get married if it's really what you want and you and your partner healed. Do it. Been married 11 years September. Like I said, marriage is for young women. And them questions are paramount. I did the same, Bondy. My husband was like, I don't need to know your every step. I got married young. Yeah, and it's like they don't even realize that we're doing it because that's what we've been raised and socialized to do. Like, that we don't even realize, like, I didn't even realize I was doing it, y'all. That's what I'm saying. Like, I had to realize that I was making everything about him. Even when he wasn't asking me that, my therapist said, you feel like Lyric put you in a cage, but really, you put yourself in a cage. Lyric opens the door and leaves the key with you. Exactly. But because my daddy was controlling and I experienced not even being able to talk to a nigga without him hitting me. And my husband don't know. Fuck, he was mentally and verbally abused too. He don't fucking know. And he didn't even know he was being abused until recently. Like, he didn't recognize what it actually was doing to him. And that's what I'm saying. We don't like to compute things for what they really are. Because we're always trying to protect somebody's feelings. Yeah, marriage is fucking hard, man. It's hard. And honestly, it's a social construct that is unnecessary for a lot of people. And you only do it because you think it's supposed to give you happily ever after. And there's no such thing. There is no such thing. When you sit back and think, why do I have to do any of this? The light bulb goes off, right? You can do a whole college course on this topic. I'm telling you, we got to heal from trauma before we give up wanting that. Yeah, of course. Which is why I said marriage is for young women. I didn't say, oh, we need to completely, stop all. No, I'm not telling nobody what to do because I don't give a fuck about other people getting married. Like, I don't care. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. But if you looking at me to give you advice, I'm going to tell you all the time, be worrying about yourself and whatever you trying to do to push your life forward. And a nigga need to figure out a way to fit into that. And if he can't fit into what you doing with your life, then he don't need to be in your life. I think what happens a lot of the times is, in y'all minds, ideally, y'all find men that are on these paths and y'all just kind of, fall into their lives and, you give up a lot so that you can support him being like, winner of the world. When we know that that's usually not the case. That's usually not the case, which is why no woman should ever, to me, I think it's stupid to be looking for a man to financially take care of you. I'm sorry. Them niggas use it against you when they do it. And then when they don't do it, you stressed out because you expecting them to do it instead of just finding a way to take care of yourself. I ain't never, my daddy took care of everything, y'all. My daddy cooked and everything. And I still was like, nope, I'm going to do this shit for myself because I'll be damned if anybody uses money against me ever again in life. I was in love. I was in love with a whole girl and I wanted to go back to Georgia. That nigga would not let me go. He would not let me go back to Georgia. I'll never again be controlled in that way. Never again. Because it can be used as a trap. Exactly. It's all a trap. It's all a trap. It's all a trap. If y'all know that most men aren't supposed to have wives and that this society has given a whole bunch of men wives, even though they don't deserve them, I'm just saying. It's a whole bunch of niggas that don't deserve wives, but they have them. And then they have a whole bunch of women that's telling you to feel sorry for them. It's a whole, like I told y'all at the beginning of this live, y'all seen all of the people telling Letitia to stay with Glenn, no matter how he disrespects her. Y'all see everybody telling Latrice that, you know, it's okay for her to stay with her husband, even though she got bruises all over her arms. Yes, children are a trap too. Children are absolutely a trap. A nigga definitely tried to get me pregnant to trap me. Actually, that's happened to me more than once. One dude took a condom off on me, and another dude was just really trying to get me pregnant, and it didn't work. We are taught from young that we put ourselves aside and censor men. That's why it's far too many older women who don't know anything about themselves. Exactly. Which is why, as much as I love my husband, I'm not a proponent for censoring men. And I have never, ever, ever been about men the way I feel like society wants women to be about men. I've always had my ego in place to protect me from embarrassing myself over niggas. And I say embarrassing, I mean when you willfully get your ass in public and fight over men, when you see them disrespecting you and you keep taking them back. Child, there was a nigga that was cheating on me. That relationship lasted 6 months. My first boyfriend never cheated on me. Was just tiring. A leech. Somebody that suck your energy and don't always give back to you. You know what I'm saying? Give back to you enough for you to get addicted to them, but not really. Never fully doing enough. Just doing the smallest amount to keep you locked in. I had to get away from that shit eventually too. My spirit, I ain't never in my life felt like I just need to get away because you done tired me the fuck out. I was exhausted after that relationship. Loved him dearly. Grew up with him. Had to let him go. Tired me the fuck out. Sucked me of the energy I had. Had to let him go. Okay? Most of them are just trying to trick you out of something. Even if they feel like they love you, if they feel like they care about you, it's really only because of what you can do for them. It's not because of who you are. Internal embarrassment is as daunting as public. Men more often than not a detrimental emotion. I know why the cage bird sings. Yes, my old dude let the people at his job call me a gold digger and I make more money than him. Bitch, what? So glad my husband isn't controlling and wants me to be everything I want to be. No control. Good for you, girl. Listen, I feel like it's not that 1% is not out there. It's just that even that 1%, you got to work with them. And if they not willing to be worked with, you got to let them go. Not any spiritual books right now, but I would definitely go tell y'all to go read When God Was a Woman. Fuck. Open y'all minds up a little bit. Because I feel like a lot of people, especially black people, y'all don't even understand how y'all are in a system created. Like you hear it, but you don't even really get how much of the system that we live in is created. Like by people who don't mean you well. And you're following the lead of people that literally are only here to control you. I'm going to always be thinking outside of these controls so that I can be protected from its pitfalls. That 1% is still just 1%. I heard a story. A lesbian woman said she met her soulmate was a trans woman. Ha! Child, that's crazy. I might write a book eventually. Just had a nigga take a condom off on me. Ugh, you should have called the police on his puss ass. Because that's illegal now. It wasn't illegal back when it happened to me. At least I don't think so. Stealthing wasn't illegal, I think, before 2010. Thank you, sure. Oh, no problem. I love y'all. I hope, whenever I get on here and talk like this, I really be trying to help people and open their minds up. Free themselves. Free yourself and your ass to follow. I don't like being imprisoned by anything. I don't like being imprisoned by mindsets. I don't like being imprisoned by anything. Control from other people, mindsets, conditions. I pray all the time for discernment and for wisdom and for the ability to always be okay. I pray for that consistently. And the life that I wanted for myself, I have created thus far. It may not be a lot. It may not be perfect. Okay? The ceiling might be falling down in some of these rooms. Not in this room. But God damn it, I'm happy. And this morning, before my husband went and worked his job, you know what I'm saying? I was happy to be laying in the bed that he bought, making out with him. Oh yeah, we're awakening. We're opening our minds. That's why I'm gonna keep talking. And I'm glad that I've been aligning with people that are pushing me in this space even more. You know what I'm saying? Ma'am, you still going back to the same thing. So whenever you really ready to wake up, you'll come back to me. But you're not ready yet, and that's okay. You saying that, you said to be pro-female does not mean to be against males, but nobody said anything about being against males. So the fact that that's what you think, that's what you feel. And that's what most of y'all feel. Y'all hear what I'm saying, and y'all know I'm telling the truth, because you could literally think about your life and think about how you probably do a little bit more in your relationship, in your household, and whatever, than the men around you. You've seen more niggas on the side of the road, drunk, passed out, and begging than you've seen women. It is a fact of fucking life, okay? But because you are raised and socialized to be male-centered, what I'm saying is making you feel like you gonna hurt these niggas' feelings by accepting that most of them are incapable. Once you realize that most of them are incapable, you're gonna stop looking for them to save you. And that's what you're looking for. You looking to find some nigga to come and save you. Do you know who taught you to expect some man to come and save you? Christianity. Jesus is supposed to come back and save everybody, right? Or are you supposed to save yourself? You know, y'all should really read books about religion, theology, the building blocks of Christianity. I'm just saying, you have got to stop. Y'all have got to stop being blind. Yeah, you. Golden Queen, Goddess, Author, you're not ready yet. You'll get there eventually, I hope, but you're not ready yet. Because you're still, like, even the language you're using, like, you're holding on so hard. Like, even in your comment. Look, here go another comment that I feel like is letting me know. So what we gonna be, Megan Thee Stallion city girl culture? Fuck men, get money, and talk down on men with masculine energy? Nobody said any of that. And if you were one of my members, you would have saw my video yesterday where I talked about the city girls. The city girls are not even the city girls. The city girls are online embarrassing themselves for men. The city girls are centering men in what they do. Now, I don't know how Megan Thee Stallion got involved in this. My good girl is somewhere chilling. Okay? Don't bring her in here. Girl, I'm going to tell them about Christianity. I'm sorry. We ain't going to keep lying to each other. Christianity is why you think some nigga is supposed to come save you. If you're a woman, your God should not be a man. That's a mistake. Yeah, see, you're not comprehending. It's okay. It's okay. We don't have to keep talking about it. I really wish I was this when this was when I was in my 20s and 30s. And it's so funny. I've been talking this whole time, and I'm giving free game, and she's still not hearing me. And she think because I have a man, that means that I'm bullshitting or something like that. And literally what I'm saying is that if I did not feel how I feel, he would not be doing what he's doing. He would not be responding the way he's responding. He would not, if I did not think the way I think, I would have chose the nigga off of my trauma, not off my intuition and my discernment. I chose my husband off of my intuition, my discernment, and my other worldly ass gift of being able to pick up on when somebody is safe for me. I explained how long it took my husband to get me, I explained who we had to be to each other, how we had to meet each other in order for him to even get me the way he got me. And I'm also saying that I am willing to let him go if ever I need to. Because I don't own him. I experience him. And as long as we growing together, then we together. But if at any point in our journey, we are no longer growing together and we're not good for each other, then I will let him go. Nobody's going to be like, oh, well, you got to keep. No, I don't. I don't have to be with anybody. Y'all, I like people, I do. But I spent most of my time alone because my husband works a lot. So I'm good. But I'm good because of me, not because of a man. And I also have background, understanding, and an upbringing that most people don't have. Most people don't have a daddy like I had. Most women do not have a parental situation like I had. Most women don't have families like I had. And when I say that, I mean my mama had a fucking village. My grandmother watched me. My cousins came pick me up from school. My aunts babysat me on the weekends. Most people don't have what I had growing up. So no, I'm not going to tell you to live your life or make a decision based on my life. Because most people don't have what I came into the world having. But my understanding is spot on. You want me to keep preaching for women to go and find a man. I'm not preaching for women to go and find a man. I'm not doing that shit. That's stupid. If you don't have what I just said, it wasn't really my uncles and shit that was watching me. It was my aunts, my girl cousins, my grandmother. Even though the first 2 men in my life, my grandfather, my mom's dad, and my father, I loved them. They loved me. I grew up knowing what it was like to be loved by men, to be cared for by them. But I also knew what it was like to be abused by them. The real definition of love, my father did not know. He cared, but the true meaning of love, he was incapable. He did the best he could. But the true meaning of love, which is unselfish, which is not owning someone, but allowing them to grow and be who they are fully, he stumped out a lot of who my mother was for her to fit into his life. And she felt like her sacrifice was warranted. But essentially, she might have been able to get the same response out of this nigga if she had really bossed up on him and made him do certain things. But she didn't feel like she had the strength to. Because she felt like she was so lucky to be with him. Seeing him as the prize. He wasn't the fucking prize. He was a good decision. She was the prize. Sound familiar? Work on your own personal growth. If the man follows and he grows, good. Women need to understand what love looks and feels like. Stop wanting a man to be better at your expense. But see, you saying that, but you're not learning. You're not learning. Because all this talking we doing and your comments are still, but what you saying is men against, no, it's not. No, it's not. Most women don't know that we're the prize. Girl, you don't even know that you're the prize. You don't know that you're the prize. You talking, but you don't really believe that. You don't really believe that. Because if you did, you wouldn't be saying some of the shit you saying. And I think if my dad would have fumbled my mama, he would have regretted it until his dying day, which was in 2019. Oh, I'm sorry, not 2019, 2009. They don't simply buy the fact that they sent her mean and feel that they need to be a man helpmate. Men are the helpmates, y'all. That's why they're supposed to pick shit up. They're the helpmates. She doesn't hate males. Yo, why y'all be like this? Why y'all be like this? You don't have to hate somebody in order to see who they truly are. I don't hate anybody. Not really. Not truly. I don't hate anybody. Not really. Nobody takes up that much energy in my body. Nobody. I don't hate anybody. But let me tell you something. My understanding that most men are unsafe until they prove otherwise has protected me my entire life. She doesn't hate males, but you don't understand the difference between decentering men, being honest about who they are, understanding who they are, and moving accordingly. You don't understand that. You think whenever somebody is being honest about who males really are, in their true core being, which is why we see what we see from them, you feel like the admittance of who they are at their true nature is her hating men. And it's really not that. It's really not that. Oh, sweetie. Oh, sweetie. I'm sorry. Because I'm not about to finish. I'm not gonna keep going back and forth with you. But if you have not paid for that lady's content, if you have not fully listened or read her book, you can't tell me that you have to really listen, like fully listen to what people say. Because you haven't been fully listening the whole time we've been talking. And it's no disrespect, but I think it's condescending for you to say that to me when at the end of the day, you don't get it. I get it. I get it. And I've always kind of understood it. My dad was the one that showed me that, yes, men have redeemable qualities, but you still can only trust them to do what they're doing. Yeah, but you don't agree because of your societal brainwashing. That's the only reason you don't agree. Never pointed in a direction. Bitch. No, you haven't really listened. No, you haven't really listened. You disagree, and that's okay. But when y'all disagree, y'all be trying to disagree with shit that's facts. And it's just facts. It's just facts. Yeah, look at you. You're only worried about men. You're only worried about how men are going to be in this upcoming society. Girl, you're only worried about men. You're only worried about men. We've been talking for a long time, girl. You're only worried about men. I'm not going to waste my breath. I got to go to the gym. But anyway, y'all, this is a great conversation. I love you guys so much. I'm glad y'all joined, okay? And I'm going to post this on my YouTube page so that everybody can see it, all right? So I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.